Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is September 11th. We remember those who, can you believe it was so long ago, lost their lives that day. We celebrate my Uncle Rick, whose birthday is today, and we are looking at Solana. A lot of interesting stuff happening in the crypto space all the time, but this has been an interesting couple weeks, especially because people are asking, should I buy crypto? Coinbase is texting me, telling me someone's trying to get into my account. Bitcoin set an all-time high. ETH was flirting with it, and everything is cooking. If you have a crypto question, if you're curious or skeptical about cryptocurrency, if you're wondering, is now a good time to buy? Should I get in? Then, well,
it's the perfect time to buy.
I don't know. We are here to answer your crypto questions and do the best we can to help you become a safe, confident user of cryptocurrency. So leave your questions below. Let us know who you are, when you listen. And fellas, what do you think? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm glad that I was able to get out of some other work and meeting obligations. I was supposed to be at a conference today, and now I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
It's wonderful. And now I get to dive into a few other topics. Today is the first day where I don't have more than 3 meetings scheduled in a very, very, very long time. So, like, I can finally do an update on, like, the four-year cycle top video, because people always ask, like, well, when's the top always? Like, what's the top of the cycle? So I can do an update video on that. I can do finally, I've been trying to do a video on why I think Pengu will flip Doge as the #1 meme coin in the cryptocurrency space. I've been meaning to do that. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, mind you, but eventually. And then, you know, a few other things for the show and stuff. And for whatever reason, there are gnats in this room.
Interesting. I wonder if it's related to your aging. We have a funny comment from Eddie who remarked on young Will Matthew, who joined the show yesterday. He said, oh man, Matthew got old overnight. Hey, look at the skin. Okay. He does not do fancy skincare routines for you to call him old. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Although I'm getting older for sure. However, I can still squat almost 400 pounds. So, you know,
what
on that?
Dang.
I was going to stop that sentence before the weight. I can still squat.
I can still squat. As you just hear both my knees clack, clack. Ha-ha.
Sounds like popcorn, but
but I can do it.
Yeah. No,
Alex,
no, dude. I'm still in that squat rack throwing up that weight, baby.
Oh my gosh. Alex, what about you? How are you feeling? What are you squatting these days?
Yeah, dude, what are you squatting these
Does it
days?
involve dogs?
dude, when I was in my physical prime, actually as Cosmic and I were saying, pre-military, I used to belong to this small, super niche hole-in-the-wall kettlebell gym, and that's like all I did. And the couple that owned it, their dad was like 400 and something pounds. He was a large man, and every time he stood up from any position, he would go, oh, how'd you like that 400-pound squat? And then if he
awesome.
ever dropped something, he would make a whole big show of it and just like, oh, just casually deadlifting more than all of you idiots, and waddle off into the kitchen.
waddle. Into the kitchen.
Every time. You
gotta feed the mass, you know. Oh my gosh. There's a a phenomenon in aging where the measure of your health, one of them is, can you get up off the ground? And I gotta say, I can get up, I can get down, but it seems a lot farther than it used to.
I have a lot of issues. A lot of them started when I broke my pelvis in 2011, and that started off a whole bunch of things. But
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was rough. Caused all sorts of nerve problems, muscle problems, whatever. Anyway, we're here now. I have always had incredible hip mobility, and that's like the one thing that has kept me going.
Well, hey man, I'm glad for your mobile hips.
I have at least
I'm glad for your mobile hips.
And I'm keeping it, God damn it.
Yeah, how's your weight loss journey? How's your diet? Is it good?
You know what? I've managed to stick to a couple parts of it, and
Okay, that's
I've
something.
lost a couple parts of it. Well, I should say I've lost one part of it, and that is that unfortunately my sugar intake has once again, it's not as bad as it was by any stretch, but it has gotten away from the limit that I was trying to go by, and so I need to rein that back in again. But the intermittent fasting still managed to keep to that exact same schedule, which does help me a lot.
Does help.
Just stop the snacking and the grazing, which was my big problem. It's just bored, eat. And mostly what I'm looking forward to, obviously, as I have not shut up about for a while, is getting the move done and getting a fitness schedule back.
All right, man, I'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
Yes, no, please do, because
Evan, how is your side goal?
I'm glad you asked, because I am going to make a renewed quit attempt. For folks wondering, I am a smoker, but the shift is in mentality first to I used to smoke and I am not a smoker. I'm going to start the quit attempt on my sister's birthday, which is September 14th. And I've got all these different things lined up to really make it the best quit attempt yet. I am picking up a pack of cards and carrying it with me everywhere I go. I've got toothpicks on standby. I've got text message alerts. I have got one designated gas station where I have given myself a rule that if I want to buy cigarettes, I'm allowed to do it, but I got to go there. And I also have given myself a smoking place, which is if you want to smoke cigarettes, you can do it, but you have to be, one, doing nothing else, and two, you got to be in the designated smoke place, which is inconveniently located about 20 minutes from the gas station where I got to buy them. So all of it is like designed to make me feel like, yeah, I could smoke anytime, but make it difficult. I struggle with permission. If I have a rule, I'll break it. But having like a rule that gives me a lot of leeway and flexibility makes me feel like I don't have one. So pray for me. I'm hoping it'll work. I'm feeling good about it, and I appreciate you for asking.
Yeah. Hey, well, good, dude. You got a good, solid system in place, and Alex, you have a general plan and a hope and a prayer. So I'm hoping for both of you.
you like that good, solid system? General plan?
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Tori in the comments who, reflecting on Alex's hip mobility, said, weird brag.
I am a big fan of this.
weird brag. It could be weirder.
It could be weird.
I'll try to step it up. I'll try
I'm not going to let you go there. We are your,
right there.
Your helpful place for crypto news, commentary, answers to your questions. And as we get into it today, I want to remind everyone that because it is Thursday, we are ending the stream a little bit early, and we are carrying it on together in Circle, where our community lives 24/7. If you're not in the Circle community, it's totally free to join. The only thing missing, my friends, is you. You can head to rumshq.com, rumshq.com. Get the link. It's the very first one at the top. It looks a lot like Discord, but it's even more user-friendly. If you go to the live events tab at the very top, pinned to the top of that page is the Circle After Show. You can join right there. It's like a Google Meet where we'll all get together and be able to talk to each other. It'll be a much more casual place for your Q&A. We'll get your voices and your faces on the stage, and you can ask us your question. What the hell is so funny? What'd I do?
It's this TikTok comment. It's Emiliano Ortiz. Oh, God. He goes, someone was eating their own toenails on a live yesterday. I think you're good.
What?
Thank you for that.
Thank you for
thank
that.
you, Emiliano.
Wonderful.
appreciate that.
I said helpful news, Emiliano, but thanks for trying. Thanks for playing. And speaking of people who played, the other thing
Tori just says no.
The other thing I want to tell you about that we have prepared especially for today is, ladies and gentlemen, a Poe app. I'm so excited to say everybody who came to the show last night got to learn what a dusting attack was. And Alex, in his explanation, said the phrase recipient of the dust, which I felt like was too good a title to pass up. And so if you can verify to us with a screenshot or explanation that you have been the recipient of one of those pesky sprinklings of junk or malicious tokens you did not ask for to your wallet, then I will send you, yes, you, a link to claim your very own recipient of the dust Poe app. It's totally free. It's a non-fungible token that will live forever on the blockchain as proof that you survived that great dusting phenomenon. We'd love to give it to you. We have 50 links, just 50, count them 50. And if you want one, just tag me in the Circle community. You got to go there. That's how I'm getting people over, and you can be a recipient of the dust. Before we started the stream, we were talking about Solana. We also talked about Solana last night, but
we also talked about Solana last week, and we never checked up on what our price predictions turned out for the week.
Oh, our bets.
Yeah, that was on like Monday or Tuesday last week, and we were supposed to look again Monday or Tuesday.
Hang on, let me
have them written down.
I have them written down. You got to read people into it.
Yeah. So not Monday of this week, but the Monday prior, or it was Tuesday. It was early last week. We had said, hey, let's take a bet. And I don't even remember what the bet was, but let's say, hey, where do you think Solana is going to be next week? Because somebody asked us that. And so we all had our various guesses, and I think Evan did like Price is Right rule or I undercut Alex. I can't even exactly remember. But anyway, we all said our prices for Solana. There was a bet involved. Don't remember what it was. If we don't remember what it was, we can replace the bet again, I suppose.
I think we all said no matter what, we were going to pay Alex out of Will's money. I think that's memory serves.
That sounds like a deal I would take.
It was definitely Will's money. That's all.
Yeah, I remember saying it would be just about the same.
Robert Steckler-ish.
And let's see, today's
Monday at 9:08 a.m. You were supposed to. I tried to remind you. I said we flubbed it.
Monday.
Well,
so Monday at 9 a.m. So let me see.
9:08.
9:08.
I've got all kinds of comments here.
By the way, it's $228 right now.
After Dark 50th POAP. Will has the most legit mustache. Pudgy Party.
I think the price was 210, but my charts time is in UTC and not AM.
Oh, man. I got to tell you guys, I might need to find this during the Soul segment. Let's do this. I have got a little quick just screen share of what I was looking at on Solana. Alex and I talked about it last night in our attempt to explain the phenomenon of vibe trading, which, for those who missed it, is basically catching a vibe for what you think the macro picture for the asset is, and then based on your targets, capturing volatility to trade, buy low, sell high in the interim. And if you're looking with me at the 3-month chart on Solana, you're seeing higher lows and higher highs. You're feeling pretty good about this. It's sitting right at 225 right now after crawling up from 130 something, depending on where you
Gecko's lagging. It's 227.56.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yep.
So in light of this, Alex, you said yesterday that you felt like 250 was another future target that it was, you were looking at in terms of it's a big round number.
I was curious to hear from Will. Just exactly, because psychological resistance at 250 is like just a number that sticks out in my head as a spot where I would probably take heavier profit, expecting it to hit 250 and fall.
Well, you're also right at resistance, quite literally right exactly now. I'll show you.
Okay.
Show me.
Show me.
Show me. And in the comments, while we're getting our bet up, let us know what your target is if you want to participate in the silly bet. Alex, can you facilitate the screen share for TikTok while I use this moment to look in my magic notebook for whatever the hell we put our bets on?
Also, the price of Solana on Monday at 9 a.m., didn't see 9:09 or whatever it was $214. I put it into the chat. So it was 214. So I'm a little off. I'm a little below because I said the same, and I think that was at like $205. So it was higher than that. But what we're looking at here on, almost said TikTok, on Solana is depending on how you draw your lines. So, you could have drawn your channel like this, like, hey, here's a top, hey, here's another general top. That's a line of resistance. And hey, Solana actually broke above it. We're breaking out of this channel. Hooray. Oh my God. Oh, wait a second. There's another line of resistance. If you draw a line of resistance from this top and this top, it ends up creating this slightly higher angled up line. And Solana is right at that resistance right now on current price. For some
people in podcast land, can you read those numbers?
Those numbers are, if the first line I mentioned was acted as support today at basically $222, and where resistance is right now is $227.78. My apologies, folks in podcast land. So if Solana gets above and holds $2.27 really today, if I want to get really exact, $2.27 Sorry, I said $2, $277.66. My God, podcast land. I apologize. 277.66. If Solana can get above and hold that today, you could see a really big move to the upside after, I don't know, maybe a day of kind of chilling for a bit. Or this acts as resistance. There's a little cool off. We try to see if it can hold the high at around $2.18, or sorry, I keep on saying $2, $218 or $220. If it holds that, then you could see a move back to the upside and then see a very big explosive move for Solana, potentially as far up as $300, potentially. But that's what I wanted to highlight. At $227, we are right at resistance. That could result in us getting maybe a little bit of a dip, which could be maybe a last buy opportunity before a bigger explosion to the upside, or maybe it's going to act as stiff resistance. We shall see. But momentum on our Moxie indicator is very bullish still on the daily. We are not overbought on our Moxie indicator. And if I take a look at shorter term time frame, momentum is also very, very good. We are also not in overbought territory, so things are looking good. And now let's take a look at our longer term time frame. Moxie indicator is bullish, and momentum for Solana is very, very, very bullish. The RSI on the weekly time frame is not overbought. Things look really good for Solana right now overall. That does not mean that 227 doesn't act as resistance in the short term, but if it does, probably a buying opportunity is how I read that before it moves upwards and explodes out of that channel to maybe as high as $300. But as we always say, take profits along the way because you never know if you're going to be right or wrong.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Correct.
Alex, have you got any thoughts to add?
Yes, sort of. Let me turn this bad boy around.
How do I sell this thing? There we go.
How do I sell this thing?
While he's getting that, I'm still looking. So really make sure it's make sure it's a good thought. We might have to make it. I feel like mine was like 213 and it was right above Alex's or something like that.
Yeah, you prices righted.
Yeah, you did prices right him.
I just remember that's what I remember. Alex, you had like 212
like a wuss.
213.01 or something like that, you know. But I think it was strategic. I don't remember exactly what everyone had. I just think I won.
I just think I won.
Just think I won.
That reminds me of Big Daddy, where it's like, how does he always win? Because I win. How? I win.
Give him the easy ones.
Hip hop. Hip hop-opotamus?
My God.
Alex, what do you think?
No, it's just it's interesting to see some of my vibes validated by Will's witchcraft, whatever that is, whatever all that was.
I think it's witchcraft. Yeah.
I do have to say that it's funny to have like a line that shows one thing and then to talk about it and Will go, but wait, we could put another line, and then it ruins everything.
Yeah. Because that's how it works. There's always another line.
There's always another squiggle you can draw on the chart.
There's always another squiggle.
And honestly, the fact that there is always another squiggle, like jokes aside, that is exactly why you take at least a little along the way. So, looking at some comments about having pretty great entries and significant purchases of Sol in the mid 100s and mid to upper 100s and stuff. If you wanted to secure a bit of it, even if you're still super like long-term bullish on an asset like that, you sell a piece, take 20% of the pile, take 10% of the pile, hell, take 5% of the pile and turn it into stable coins. And then if you see a day where, after a run like it's been on, for the last week, 2 weeks, whatever, it decides it's going to chill by, 8% or something, buy it all back again. And right there, you are now sitting in the same position you were in with the same initial amount of money invested, but you have more Sol than you did originally. And I said Sol, but you can do that with anything. And that's the magic.
And you always want more Sol.
Amen.
Oh.
Amen.
Absolutely die on this hill.
We got a really good question in the comments that's related, but slightly different, asking about Bitcoin since we're talking about things going higher. Tiger Tattoo says, 250,000 in 2026? Yes or no?
220,000.
250. Sorry, I might have misspoke.
So Bitcoin would have to double between now and the end of 2026.
Yeah.
So I do not prescribe to the idea that the 4-year cycle is still alive. So for those of you who do, you don't think there's a shot in hell of Bitcoin hitting $250,000 at some point in 2026 because you believe 2026 is going to be a year-long bear market. I do not prescribe to that thought or theory. So yeah, I do think it's possible. I just wouldn't count on it. You know what I mean? Like every single time I've said, hey, I'm not going to sell anything until it hits this target. Guess what? I lost like 70% of those trades. Probably because I was like, I'm not going to do anything until it hits that number, and I'm going to hold everything, and and then it doesn't really work out that way. So, do I think it's possible? Yeah, I totally think it's possible. The only thing that would derail it is if there is like a real big recession. And I know it's like really sexy and clickbait to be like, we're about to enter a recession. Look at unemployment. Unemployment's still really good. Like the jobs market is still really strong. People are like, look, the jobs market's terrible right now. It's like, no, it's still adding jobs. It's just not adding jobs as much. There was 1 month that we've had where there was negative growth. That's really not that bad. Unemployment's at 4.3%. That's still really good. So it's like, we're so far away from a recession right now. And also inflation's coming down. We're really far away from a recession of any type right now. And since Bitcoin is broken out of its 4-year cycle, in my opinion, it's tied to the traditional financial world. If the traditional financial world and economy isn't actually about to enter a recession, particularly if the tariffs are deemed illegal by the Supreme Court, we'll see if that happens, because that'd be a great boon to the economy and to Wall Street. Then everything's going to be fine. And yeah, I think Bitcoin could totally reach $250,000. If we get through October, I'm telling you that there's a chance. If we get through November and you have Ethereum staking ETFs and you have Solana ETFs and the tariffs are deemed illegal, and you just have inflation immediately drop after about 4 months, and then you have unemployment start to go down again because companies hire more people because their profit margins aren't being squeezed as much, and then it's all solved. And even if the tariffs are still around, honestly, probably fine, because the U.S. economy is actually doing pretty damn okay still.
Pretty damn okay. Tori has let us know in the TikTok comments that the Rise Up Morning Show official boon counter is up to 1.
Yes, and Neil is correct. He says, I see no evidence that Bitcoin is recession-proof. Exactly. Bitcoin's never existed in a recession. And also, it goes down when the economy and Wall Street goes down. Guess what happens in a recession? The economy and Wall Street goes down. So yeah, Bitcoin's totally not recession-proof. Neither is gold, for that matter. Go take a look at gold in 2008. What did it do? Shit the bed. Then people got really worried, and then gold started to really rip after the crash.
Yeah. And go ahead, Alex.
I was just going to say an interesting little piece of news that seems to have been skirted. So speaking of ETFs, an ETF went live today.
Oh?
Yeah. A very specific one, which...
Usually they are.
Shiba Inu, Sonic, Obama, Ronald Reagan, McDonald's, Burger King coin?
It's Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Inu.
I love the word association there, though. I really did.
I was trying to get a little bit more information about this because I feel like it would have been a bigger deal, but some kind of Doge ETF from Rex Shares and Osprey launched today.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah. I was curious to have Will take a peek at it and give an assessment, because I know, like, for example, you know, we got a Solana ETF recently that you reviewed that was pretty trash.
Who's this by? Oh God, yeah, the Solana ETF product that's out is horrendous.
It's
why
by
no one's buying it.
Rex Shares and Osprey Funds launching the first U.S. spot Dogecoin ETF under the ticker DOJE, using the Investment Company Act of 1940 structure that fast-tracked that, I think, that same Sol ETF that you reviewed earlier.
Yeah, so it's definitely by a C Corp.
So what's the nuance there? Because obviously this is not the same as, iBit or Grayscale or Fidelity.
Yeah, I mean, this will be a little different. So the difference is like you can fast track the release of an ETF if you are a C Corp. And the reason why is like you don't have jurisdiction underneath the SEC. And so basically you can offer this ETF product. And I'm going to forget some of the nuance because I need to look it up, because at the time it was new to me and I haven't thought about it since, honestly. And if information's not like really pressing, my brain's like not useful. So I'd have to touch up on it. But the crux of the issue is this C Corp doesn't have access to a lot of liquidity because people don't invest in ETF products through C Corps. They do it through your traditional, like, security offerings, like investment bankers, like your Fidelities, your BlackRocks. There's actual liquidity there and demand, and people use these corporations to go and invest in products for investment reasons. But the big crux is like, okay, well, like, why aren't C Corps popular then for this? The reason why is because it's a mess of a tax implication, because you can be implicated in taxes like many times throughout the year. And again, I'm forgetting a lot of the nuance. I'm gonna have to dive in and do a refresh on it. But it's a total mess from a tax standpoint. And so people avoid it like the plague. There's also another big negative to it, and I don't remember, so I apologize, everybody. I'll have to go and double check again.
We know you're good for it. In terms of the Bitcoin question, whether it'll go up or down to 250 or not, the thing that I find unhelpful about trying to speculate too much is it doesn't change my strategy. Alex, you often say you should have a plan for if the market goes up, the market goes down, or it goes sideways, because those are the three possibilities. And
That's it.
with regard to Bitcoin, I am just not going to, like, I'm going to buy it every day. The strategy is the same. I'm not selling it. I'm holding it. I'm trying to accumulate it as an asset. And so for me, the question of will Bitcoin go up or down to this or that price by this or that time frame is much more important for the rest of my portfolio. Because if Bitcoin decides to change direction and establish a trend downward, then that's going to have bigger effects for what I do with my soul, with my ETH, with other stuff that I'm thinking about buying or selling, than it is going to have an effect on my decision about whether to buy more Bitcoin today or not. If Bitcoin goes down big time, I will buy more aggressively, but it's not the reason I look at its price.
But I would push back to say that you have created that thesis for Bitcoin for yourself, knowing full well that the market can do those three things, and then working through the fact that in all of those three instances, they don't shake the way that you would want to treat the asset.
Well said.
All I'm saying is the objective fact that markets can literally only do three things. And as long as you remain cognizant of the fact that one of those three things is what is going to happen every single day, and if you can formulate a plan for yourself of what am I going to do if I wake up tomorrow and my whole thing is dropped by 50%, what would I do in that instance? Am I set up right now to be able to weather a storm like that? Or am I, and I really say that just to gut check people into making sure they're not overexposed just because they're feeling like it can only go up, because that's never the case. That's really truly the only reason. And honestly, I think sometimes the harder thing to weather is when it's boring and flat and sideways. That's why attention drops off so hard the second the markets stagnate a little bit. Even if it's like a slight stagnate, like climbing, people still tune out just because, well, there's nothing to do right now. I don't have to panic and I'm not euphoric. I'm out. And I think that's one of the biggest misses, to be very honest.
We have one more follow-up question on Bitcoin, and then actually I kind of want Will, before we get too far away from like future prospects, you mentioned in the backstage and at the start of the show, altcoins and specifically XRP looking like it was about to rip. I'd love to visit that if it's okay. But first,
sure,
Andre. Go ahead.
First, CPI inflation just came out a minute ago.
Oh, okay. Make the complex clear for me. Are we feeling good? Feeling fine?
I mean, rate cuts are going to happen on the 17th, but inflation, this is CPI inflation. It rose, but it rose in line with expectations. So let's see. Oh, wait, this one's not accurate. Here we go. August inflation rose to 2.9% in line with expectations. That is just regular CPI inflation. If you guys don't know what CPI inflation is, it's the measurement of the cost of goods that we experience at the gas pump, when you buy a car, when you rent a car, when you rent, your groceries, all that stuff, right? So prices rose by 2.9%. Core CPI inflation rose by 3.1%, also in line with expectations. That is the cost of all those goods, minus gas, as well as like energy and food. I was like, what's the other one? Jesus. Because they're very, very volatile. So we're still going to see the 25 basis point cut. It's in line with expectations. Like, yeah, inflation got a little bit worse, but yeah, it's nothing crazy. And then the previous month was at, where was it? I think it was at 2.6%. Why can't I see it here? Give me 1 second.
You're good. And while you're doing it, let me say that if you want to get a better picture on the macro situation, the place you got to go is, of course, the Rise Up Market Watch. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and wherever you are, whenever you listen on your favorite podcast or YouTube station. Will, what you looking at?
Yeah, it was at 2.7% last month. So in July, it rose 0.3% from 2.4% to 2.7%. And now in August, it's risen from 2.7% to 2.9%. So despite PPI inflation going down, CPI inflation has gone up. Why, might you ask? For those of you who don't know what PPI inflation is, it is the cost of goods experienced in business-to-business transactions. So think a retailer buying supplies from a manufacturer or the manufacturer buying raw materials, right? Business to business. PPI inflation doesn't affect CPI inflation for about a 2 to 4 month time period, because a business, if inflation goes up or down, they want to know if that was a one-time thing or if this is a trend. If it's a trend, they then take those costs and pass it on to consumers, which affects CPI inflation. So that's why.
Beautiful. I was too slow on. Tell me why. But I just had to give it to people.
Oh, I saw.
I was reaching, but you were quick, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
And then we're getting the rest of those numbers. Are we getting any more big numbers before rate cuts? Or like you said, since rate cuts are unlikely to change, does anything really matter in the next week?
No, there's nothing that's going to derail rate cuts happening on the 17th at this point, but we will get the weekly jobs data today as well. If it's not out already, I think it's just being overcome by the weight of the CPI report, which will also be hilarious because news agencies, this was so funny. I thought this might happen, was that news agencies were just like, oh my God, inflation is going down. And then you had Fox being like, Trump and tariffs are great. And then like MSNBC being like, I guess the tariffs weren't that bad. And now 24 hours later, it's going to be the total opposite. Just like swing MSNBC or CNN's going to be like, Trump's tariffs. And then Fox is going to be like, well, you know, it's really not that bad. It's just the total opposite. God, it's going to be so, I love watching it.
Proof of nothing else more than the fact that they're all bullshit.
They're all bullshit, and also they know nothing. It's great to watch sometimes.
Yep.
Oh, you guys know why they know nothing, right?
Uninformed commentators.
Fucking have to.
That's exactly right.
Oh, it's like because they're paid to be a manipulation machine, paid and operated and funded by the powerful elite to keep the country divided across terms of gender, race, and also class, and also politics, to keep us fighting one another so that we don't actually realize that we're all on the same side and turn towards the actual people who are making our lives worse, which are the powerful and elite who want to continue to centralize their power.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Double correct.
Nailed it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Set us up for that.
That'd be crazy. But that'd be crazy.
That would be. No, that can't be it.
Nah, that can't be right.
They absolutely have our best interests at heart.
No,
Will.
I mean, dude.
Thoughts and prayers.
Larry Fink sends me a Christmas card every single Christmas, guys.
I would love a T-shirt that just says, "I know Larry Fink loves me."
I know Larry.
You have that T-shirt too, Alex. A niche audience would really appreciate that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, if we can clip that whole thing, send that. I'd love to post that onto the interwebs.
Yeah, we'll
just that one little. That's yeah.
We'll get a clip of that. We have
You
a lot.
gotta keep the correct though. Keep the
correct. Especially as both of you were like,
We were ready, man.
I was like, I don't know when he's gonna stop, but I'm ready.
Okay.
Will, there was actually a request kind of in the vein of everything you were just talking about, to also toss in a Pengu opinion, given the fact that you've been looking a little bit more closely at the action over there recently.
Oh yeah, dude, I've spent
Pengu
thousands of dollars. I've spent thousands of dollars recently on Pudgy Penguin shit.
Yeah, he's out of control, guys.
I found something I liked. Guess what happens when I find things I like?
Will is literally the embodiment of if you give a toddler grown-up money and remove his adult supervision.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, you think I got those swords in a state of coherentness? No, I was near blackout in Epcot, Japan, and I ended up buying swords.
Look at him. Look at this
one
guy.
does.
Look at me. As one does. Yeah, and then Oh God, yeah. So to let everybody know, I spent.
Talk to me about the penguin money, Will.
I spent $5,000 buying a little pudgy NFT. I think it was actually, I think it was like $4,400. But because I was like, yeah, it's fine. Well, it was my thought process was, oh, I can go and get the Pudgy Penguins varsity jacket on this eBay auction for $1,880, or I'm gonna get stains on that because it's white, but I look sick as fuck. But I was like, but I'm gonna get stains on it for sure. So let me spend almost $5,000 on this NFT. That's way better. So that makes way more sense. But also, I did want a part of it, and I had money sitting in a wallet I dedicated to NFTs years ago, and I was like, yeah, go whatever. I'll get this because I do like it, and I actually now took that NFT and I've put it out through their licensing agreement. So there's an opportunity for it to be used in the next promotional campaign with one of the big luxury jewelry brands out of Europe. I forget which one. And then I could like actually make money off of it. So they're doing some cool stuff. Then the other thing is I got a big old bag of Pengu, and I'll buy a little bit more over the next few days too. And then I spent $20 buying a toy that I thought was a Pudgy Penguin toy. It's not. It was a scammer toy. It was like a knockoff. So I got these little toys. They were gonna go in like my little knick-knack shelf, and I was like, "What the hell are these?" Am
I to understand that you're now dealing in counterfeit penguins?
Yeah, I'm dealing in counterfeit penguins. But then I also got this guy because he's their first line of toys. They're like the Mr. Potato Head Pudgy Penguins, and there's 4 of them in the first line. I was able to buy 3 of them on Amazon. One only had 1 left in stock, and then I was hunting for like 5 days to find the 4th one. And I was like about to make a video and be like, Luca, where the fuck is the 4th one? And then I found it on eBay and won it in an auction. And so now that one's coming home too. So I'll have the 4 set. And then also I've spent I've spent about $340 on TCG cards of their Pudgy Penguins vibes. That was a while ago. And now if you want to get like the box of cards, it's like $500 for like the box of cards that I was looking at. I was like $150. God damn, that's expensive for like what is essentially a trainer box if you're in ECB, if you're familiar with like Pokemon cards. So like Pudgy stuff is so expensive right now. Also, there's this, and I've been playing a crap ton of Pudgy Party.
Yeah, dude.
And I've probably spent $35 in game or whatever. Because like you can get NFTs and you can merge the NFTs, and now my mouse character Tim has a nice fancy suit, and he has gold flippers and he has gold glasses, and it's great. It's wonderful.
I was ready to spend more money on Pudgy Party, except I went on the Mythical marketplace just to see like how much can I trade some of these tokenized characters for, and honestly, I was a little disappointed in some of the prices. Like,
you should check again.
I mean, I checked like 3 days ago.
Yeah, in the past few days, the Comic-Con skin in the past 2 weeks went from, hey, we gave it this away to free, to now it's $5,000.
Whoa. Verified sales or listings at $5,000?
That is the bottom floor price. It could be $3,000 right now. But then also, you know, as time has gone by too, like you can upgrade your characters in the game. You don't even have to spend money to do it. And, you know, it becomes more valuable. Some people have like, there's also like a pirate skin in the game that's gone up to like a floor of about $1,000 also. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then like my character, Tim, he throws a big heat-seeking cheese at people. And then whenever I hit people with a cheese, I go, suck cheese. And I say it every single time. And Violet's like, I hate this. My girlfriend, she's like, I'll just be in another room and I'll be like, suck cheese. And she'll be like, suck cheese. She's very supportive.
It has become the cry of your people.
Yeah, but he's almost totally leveled up now. And he's about like $300 at his current price.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you wanted to check out these NFTs, you would go to mythical.market. And in fact, when I search for Pudgy Party on Mythical Market, the very first items that come up are Tim. So, hey there, Tim. Looks like I can buy a 3-star legendary Tim for $4 right now. If you want to get a head start in the game, that might be the way to do it. Or if you've got a legendary Tim you want to sell, you could offload it here.
Yeah. And the game's fun. It's a good time. They just crossed 500,000 downloads.
Wow.
They're also #1 in the racing app on the Apple App Store.
It's fun, man. I don't usually play a lot of games, and I find myself intentionally pulling out my phone to play it.
Yeah, we got a party up for a couple games.
It reminds me of one of the Nintendo DS, Game Boy Advance Mario parties. It's genuinely a good time. Especially it fulfills the number one requirement of a mobile game to be good, which is that I can encapsulate the entire experience of doing something in it in 5 minutes.
Alex, before you go, I'm going to switch us up a little. I wanted to, we've got a couple of good questions in the chat. One of them is coming back to this Bitcoin thing. I want to hear Will's take on XRP because of the tweet that he made. But first, Bearded, our friend, hello Bearded, had a question for you about your swing trading strategy. He wanted to know if, Alex, you put aside any money, and he said 20% for taxes as you're trading, or do you make strategic trades that end in a loss to offset any gains? So can we talk about tax implications of trading and how you, who are actively moving this crypto, are thinking about tax time?
Yes, the answer is both. I keep, one of the reasons that I always have stablecoin exposure is exactly that, because at the end I will have profits to declare, and I need to be able to account for that. However, I do also hold currently still several relatively decent sized total losses, and because in crypto or in trading in general you can net, which means if I were to earn $10,000 in a profitable trade, and I can also lose $10,000 in another trade, those two things completely offset, and you actually do not owe any capital gains taxes on the $10,000 because you can also write off a loss. That gets confused sometimes because you are allowed to declare up to, in the United States, $3,000 of a capital loss against your ordinary income, which can reduce your ordinary income taxes. So make sure that, I honestly would do that as like first, and then offset, your capital gains with capital loss. So I have a lot of crypto over the years. Most of it, token positions from years and years ago that I literally still own in some wallet somewhere. A lot of them are down pretty significantly. So one of the things that I will do is when I get up to the time when I need to declare a victory, I will also find some sort of losing position that I still own some of and officially sell it for a couple pennies, write off an entire loss of whatever that original position was, and declare those two things at the same time. And because I have held those things for that long, that was sort of an accident. It seems like I'm a genius, but really I'm just forgetful. And now it's worked out in my favor. But no, I do also just make sure that I always have stablecoin exposure to pay for whatever I end up owing. But actually, thus far, because of how much I have lost over time and how many losses I can declare and have if I need, I haven't really come back to win that much to where it's been like a problem where I owe large amounts of taxes. So far so good.
So an accidental genius.
Accidentally really set myself up for future success by screwing it up for years and years.
And of course, Alex is talking about the way taxes work in the United States. If you're listening from somewhere else, it might be different. And if you need help with crypto taxes, we've got a lot of solutions coming. We just had a real promising series of conversations and explorations with Awaken, the crypto tax app. And for the last several years, we have all used Coinly, Koinly, to prepare our crypto taxes. I do recommend it. We've even got a link you can use in the recommended tools and deals tab on the Rise Up Morning Show website, rumshq.com, to save a couple bucks and support the show. It'll help make it easier for you to, sort through transactions and prep your taxes. Although I will say, because I do my taxes late, I was on TurboTax recently and noticed that they had a lot of, you could connect your wallet, you can read transactions. It looks like they're coming for that share of the market.
Yeah. And I think that the reason I'm excited about Awaken over Coinly is just because of how many more transactions can get recorded, logged, and analyzed and calculated for a lot less than Coinly charges, because there's just like straight transaction reading packages from Coinly, and it's price is creeping up over there.
Yeah, I've used Coin Tracker for years, and it's like expensive because I have a lot of transactions. So
Coinly, my bad.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm actually gonna I need to go take a look at Awaken too. This is great.
Yeah.
I've added 2 things to my whiteboard now.
Yep.
Don't you just love it?
Awaken.tax.
awaken.tax. In our crypto quest to find ever obscurer domains, awaken.tax.
Yes.
Making a bid for the championship. Will, are you in a place where you can whip up and explain to us what you were seeing in the XRP chart that made you say, oh boy, it's going to rip for all
Yeah,
of
I
our
can do that, but I want to talk
listeners
about the
and community?
taxes thing first for a little
Talk
bit,
about it.
which is like I don't do a good job of setting stable coins to the side for taxes because I just don't think about it. I'm like, I can take this money and I can play with it and I can make
Buy
this more money.
penguins.
I can buy penguins. But no, like I use my salary job to do that stuff. But this, you know, so I don't do a good job of setting enough stable coins to warrant, you know, or for the purpose of paying taxes. You should.
Mm-hmm.
We totally should. But for me, I have the ability to have some bad practice there because I'm not trying to brag, I'm a high earner. And so I make a solid amount of money from my job. And so I just go, cool, I just need to set some cash aside from what I'm doing over here and I'll pay my taxes. But what I'll also do is I play with, again, not trying to brag, I play with larger positions than most. And so at the end of the year, I have a lot of money in taxes that I owe. So like what I'll do is I'll purposely take a bad trade in December, have it go down, close that out. And then it becomes much easier for me to pay around tax time just with the money I have for my salaries. So that's what I'll purposely take a bad trade in December.
Beautiful.
And then if it goes up, I'm like, no.
No.
That's not what I wanted. I wanted to lose money. Because then it's a write-off.
Okay. Pivot for me and take me over to XRP land. XRP Army, I salute you. What is it that you're seeing in the chart, in the liquidity heat map, or anywhere else that you're looking that makes you feel particularly bullish about the near-term future for that asset?
Yeah,
And-
let me see. I forget which one of my charts I have XRP on.
Before he does that, I'm going to bow out.
Oh, man, I thought you had 10 more minutes. Then give me a good final thought, Alex. Real good. Better be the best one.
Real good.
Well, now it's going to be awful.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
You know what? Honestly, I feel relatively well met with my tax final thoughts, and I would just issue one more polite reminder that regardless of what we do, if things explode, consider paying yourself. And I'm looking at you, XRP Army. If things rip, please consider paying yourself back at least a little bit for having the conviction to hold.
I will absolutely die on this hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's your friend and he's ours, Mr. Alex Popovich.
Hey, dude.
Have a good time. We'll see you a little later. Okie dokie, Will. The floor is yours. I will assist you with the screen share.
Yep.
And people in podcast land, you know what you got to do. Find the Rise Up Morning Show playlist on YouTube, and you, yes, you, can see this screen for yourself in all its glory. What are we looking at?
We're looking at XRP. So yeah, this is XRP. And so I love trading wedges. And so a wedge is triangle, you know. And so we have this top line of resistance starting from July 18th all the way down to the bullish breakout that we had here on September 8th. And then we have this line of support starting from August 2nd all the way to, well, same general time frame. And so XRP ranged, and then we had what was a false bearish breakout. We came back into the pattern, treated the breakout of that top line of resistance at $2.92 as support, and now we're starting to break out here. Now, the breakout target of this, you measure by measuring the triangle or the wedge at the thickest point when it first came into creation. So this first line was generated up here back on July 18th. This bottom line was generated over here on August 2nd. So measure it at the August 2nd point, put it at the breakout zone, and you get a breakout target of upwards to about $3.64 and $3.56. I always give a range because it's good to be conservative. And so that's the breakout target that we're looking at. We also had some short signals that got erased. Let me see if there was something else here. Momentum on the short term looks strong. It's above the 200 exponential moving average. That could be your trampoline upwards. Also on the daily time frame, what you're really looking for. Oh, wow. I just refreshed the chart and we're getting a short signal on XRP. So let's see if that holds up throughout the day. Oh, it just got erased. Look at that. It got erased live. So what you're looking for, oh my God, I got put back on again. So anyway, we need to see if that's going to get confirmed or not. But, things are overall looking pretty solid. Also, wait, what happened to my line here? I had what happened to my shape? Did I accidentally erase it? No, hang on a second. What happened to it? My top line of support just got erased. Whatever, it was there. This is weird. Then we're getting a little bit of glitching, or my internet's all messed up. But if XRP can claim $3.01 as support, which is the 55-day exponential moving average, that's the final line of resistance it really needs to get a big, nice swing to the upside. Also, the other thing that gives us really good feelings that XRP is about to go upwards to at least $3.40 is the Bitcoin liquidity heat map. Let me pull that up for you, and I'll share my screen.
And this is on Glassnode or CoinGlass. I always baffle them.
This is on CoinGlass.
That's what I thought. Beautiful.
You want to use CoinGlass because CoinGlass is reading Binance, which is the largest perpetuals exchange in crypto, centralized exchange crypto, right? So centralized exchanges. And so let me switch the screen. Liquidation heat map. And this is XRP on the liquidation heat map. And you can see that there is a larger payday, a big bright spot here up at $3.20. And then you have some more paydays up to $3.40 before you get rid of like the real big paydays for centralized exchanges. So the breakout target from our TA standpoint says, hey, it could go up to $3.60. Here, we're saying, hey, $3.20 looks really strong. Up to $3.40 is definitely a possibility. That also happens to line up with a previous high over here at $3.34. That could be an area of resistance. So maybe we want to sell a good bit here, as we get closer to $3.40 because of that resistance, and you're starting to run out of liquidity zones. The TA breakout says $3.60, but you don't always reach that because sometimes you get stopped out by a strong area of resistance beforehand. And also it's very dependent on market conditions. So if your target is $3.60 and you're at $3.40, but then Bitcoin all of a sudden decides to go down and there's a bad bit of macro news or something, then, to kind of
you're not going to
reach that target.
You said it on the show that generally speaking, you think people could do well by setting slightly. If your target is 350, you might think about taking profits at 340.
Yeah, if you dollar cost average in to a position, dollar cost average out. So if you think you're going to hit $300 or whatever it is, and you're at $200, start selling from $250 up to $300, and sell 10%, and then sell 20%, and then sell 30%, and then sell blah. And that way, if you miss it and things end up rolling over, you have so much profit already that even if it falls all the way back down to your entry point and you sell that at net even, you still made money.
And just to clarify, the chart you were looking at that wedge on was what time frame?
That was the daily.
That was the daily. So we are expecting an imminent breakout is what we're looking for probably, because that was pretty tight.
Yes, actually. Ooh, wait a second.
An imminent breakout confirmation or denial reversal.
Yeah.
Because that was a question, and I thought you were pretty clear, but just in case it wasn't clear for folks, what is the data telling us for the short term will is the question from Foregone. Hey, Foregone.
I mean, in the short term, by short term, I'm saying, the next week, you're looking for a move upwards. For XRP, probably to $3.40. I would say $3.35 would be $3.37 would be like a good spot to kind of sell some on. But like short-term momentum looks strong for XRP. It could chop sideways. It could chop a little bit down for a few days even. But things are looking very incentivized for it to try to go up and hit about like $3.40, $3.30. And potentially as high as $3.60. Oh, you're talking about CPI data? Oh, CPI data is fine. I mean, it came in higher at 2.9%, but that doesn't matter.
And if you want to hear the full breakdown, you got to hit the rewind button.
Yeah, there are these little gnats. Yeah. But anyway, inflation data came in fine. It was a little bit higher. It was in line with expectations. It's not that high. it's doesn't seem to be like an issue.
Thank you. It's about that time when we got to start thinking about final thoughts and riding our dogs and ponies off into the sunset in order to start the Circle live stream, because my friends, the show is not over. We're just ending the broadcast here. If you're not in the Circle community, you can get the link and so much more at rumshq.com or in the description, in our bio, in our profile, wherever you are, whenever you listen. We would really love to see you there. I say it because it's true. The best crypto advice I can give you, I think anyone can give you, is to get into a group chat, a community of other crypto users who have a little more experience, who are learning this stuff alongside you, and who you can share your wins, your concerns, your questions with, whether the markets are up or down. That for us is the Rise Up community. Totally free to join. The only thing missing is you. I will begin the live stream there. I don't know, probably 10 minutes after we end this stream, because I like to write up a little description, upload it for the people in podcast land, because I do love you guys and hope your candles are green. And at least for myself, the last question I wanted to explore is this question about Bitcoin. And then Will, maybe you pick one and we'll ride off in the sunset. The question comes from Andre Stud. Sounds like an entertainer in a certain profession. Love the name. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where everyone in the world is using Bitcoin, or where most people have it and those who do not are just trying to get some? How long?
No, there'll never be a point in time where more than 50% of the population has Bitcoin. It'll never happen. I mean, like, more than 50% of the population doesn't have gold. More than 50% of the population doesn't have silver or copper. These assets have been around for thousands of years. I don't see a world where more than 50% of the global population has Bitcoin, and then you're going to have you're just not. I just don't see it. I think a lot of people have stable coins. I think that'll happen. It's just that, like, a lot of people don't look at investing as like a thing that's for them, and that's a big problem. It's getting better, particularly since COVID, because like there's been more financial content and education that's been put out there, and more people are investing than ever have. But I'll say this. If a greater percentage of the global population invests in like 401ks and S&P 500 funds and things like that, then they will unintentionally be buying Bitcoin. So in that sense, yes, you would have more than 50% of the population buying Bitcoin, but like going out and buying Bitcoin, like, no, that's just not going to happen, because people just don't do that. It's just not how people act. I would need to see more numbers before I felt firm, like in less or more than 50%. But I disagree a little with what you said about gold and silver, et cetera. These assets are much harder to acquire. Bitcoin is available to anyone with an internet connection for the most part to acquire. There are some tough ways to on-ramp and off-ramp, but those are being solved by people who want to get their piece of the pie of the fees. And especially in developing nations in the global south, where there are a lot of incentives for Bitcoin miners to operate, for Bitcoin communities to go, I think it's going to be that more and more people acquire Bitcoin. Even now, like as the world experiences pockets of instability, it will accelerate the need for a money or store of value that is truly global, that is permissionless, meaning it doesn't discriminate, can't be censored, and is resistant to the kinds of like social manipulation that other kinds of currencies, government money, are susceptible to. It can be printed at any time, this government money. Elected and appointed officials control it, this government money. And Bitcoin, on the other hand, is, it's controlled by a set of rules that we all agree to, that are very difficult to change. So I think it will, because it's easier to acquire and because of the factors that might push people to get it, I think it will be more widely adopted than something like gold. It's also more liquid. And so in my mind, as a store of value, as a way to make meaning about it, it's more useful than gold in the era of the internet, especially. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think there's merit to it. I think most people are either have a lack of education towards most things and therefore don't do things that they're unfamiliar with, or people hear about something and then they don't act on it, mainly because they're focused on things in their immediate daily life. And so I think both what we're saying has total merits here, but
and I definitely agree with what you say about stable coins, man.
And gold is so much, and Bitcoin is so much easier to get than gold.
Yeah.
And it's better than gold for what you want to have it for in your portfolio. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see most of the world have Bitcoin because it'd be a really good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have a final thought? Last joke, word of wisdom, impulse purchase for penguins. Don't forget, if you play Pudgy Party, you need to be using Will's referral link. Have you gotten enough referrals to get Tengu?
Oh, yeah. Tung Tung?
Tung Tung.
Oh, yeah, I've had Tung Tung for a while.
I don't have Tung Tung yet, so maybe you need to use my referral link. Although I kind of just want Will to get the most referrals and shoot to the top of the referrals leaderboard because, you know, we're Pudgy Maxies.
That would be good because we will have Luca, who's the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, on at the end of October. Yeah, and then right after that, I think 2 days later, I jump on a plane and go to Japan for 2 weeks. And I know a huge focus area in Asia, or Asia is a huge focus area for Pudgy Penguins. So I'm like curious to see like how much Pudgy stuff I run into.
Dude, I'm gonna use my final thought here to address this question. How do you get away from the high fees and spread on Coinbase, Captain Steve?
Easy, go to Kraken.
The show is not sponsored by Kraken, but it could be. Coinbase and Kraken both have, while Kraken's spreads are generally lower, meaning the price you pay on top of whatever the cost of your asset is when you buy or sell. Coinbase and Kraken both have these premium plans that are meant to mitigate trading fees. You trade a monthly fee, like a membership, to get some benefits on the back end in the form of like rebates or zero fee transactions. Coinbase's program is called Coinbase One. I don't know off the top of my head what Kraken's sort of premium program is. You get a bevy of other benefits. It costs between $5 and $30 a month. And I think it's worth it for people who do most of their trading there. You can ask GPT or your favorite AI assistant to do some quick back of the napkin math for you. I hope that helps. And also, I recommend you learn self-custody and start exploring decentralized exchanges $1 at a time, because often you can get more tokens there. The trades are faster and they tend to be cheaper. And when you got more tools in the toolkit, then you'll be a more masterful mover in the crypto space if your exchange goes down, whatever. Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, use Kraken instead of Coinbase if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're out of the U.S., you have other options available to you that are good. You get your Binance. I see Doug over here doing OKX and MEXC. Never put your money on MEXC. They're total scam artists. They will take and freeze your money if you actually start winning some trades. If you want a whole breakdown on that, Doug, head to the White Whale HL on Twitter. And he's been in a big war about how MEXC has like stolen 3 million of his dollars, and how they're like, hey, if you fly to Malaysia, we'll give it to you. And they're totally just going to kidnap him. It's just like MEXC they're total shit. They're so shady. They're so shady. I would not put your money on that exchange at all. I'd be very careful about that.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, in a world of exchanges, the only one I'm looking at, you said Kraken, but man, holding a balance on Coinbase just so I can get their Bitcoin rewards credit card and max my Bitcoin buying with my regular purchasing habits is about the most appealing offer in crypto, bar none, to me right now. Okay, everybody. If you're not there already, this is your last chance to head to rumshq.com and get the link to join the Rise Up community. We are not ending the show. We're just moving the show over there. We're doing a soft fork, or maybe it's a hard fork because we're, actually switching. The Circle Live after show is going to be a place where you can come up right on stage, talk to us face to face, voice to voice, text to text, no limits. We want to see you there. And it's where the show lives 24/7. So join us. And if you can't, then come back next Monday, wherever you are, whenever you listen. We'll be live again for another great episode of the Rise Up Morning Show. Thank you, my friends, for being the very best part of what we do. Until next time, or until Circle, everybody stay safe. Be well, my friends. Rise up.